I felt it at the end of the day yesterday.
Just want to cry. Hey, Joanne, welcome.
Welcome. Hello. I'm coming.
No worries, no rush. Alrighty, Maureen, we will start with you, and I know Deanna is going to be joining us as well
Okay.
to talk about an event at the coalition is doing with some other partners for medication take back event. And gonna briefly talk about, and Joanne, you can as well, the Tai Chi information session is coming up at Galilee. A brief note about our cleanup, which will be, I'm making a flyer for tomorrow, which will be next Saturday, and then wrap up with a request for support with a donation drive for families in our corridor. So, with that said, Maureen, I will let you start things off.
Okay, thanks. I think this email went out, right, to this group. Okay, so just to provide a little bit of background, because the email was pretty full of information, and I know some of the people that I've sent it to have had questions. Just number one, if anybody doesn't know what Open Street 704 or corridors of opportunity are, I'm just going to kind of give a very brief description and be glad to talk about it in detail with anybody after this call. But this is something that the city and the county and Partners for Parks have been doing for a number of years, but this is the first since COVID, the restart of the Open Street 704. So the 6 corridors of opportunity are the target for Open Street 704, and it is really to showcase those corridors. Now, I'm just going to mention the fact that we, Albemarle Road corridor, we're the Albemarle Road corridor and Sugar Creek are the first corridors in this whole series. So you can see that what Greg's showing right now is that this is over a period of 3 different weekends. That's a Sunday afternoon from 1 to 5, and we're on October 8th. Out of these 6 corridors, we have not been implemented. So it's a bit of a hurdle. The fact that there's not really knowledge, I think, within the general community about what the corridors of opportunity are. And it's going to really require some push to get this out, other than just being on the city website, but on our social media and through our database. And I hope all of you will help us as well. But I think it should be a fun event, and it's starting to come together. The focus this year is to connect a park, and that's why they selected behind the corridor. Also, the fact that you can't close down Albemarle Road as a state road, but that is going to be through the Coventry Woods neighborhood. So it's going to be on Redmond Road to Amity, over to Boston, which actually ends at Idlewild. So that's the stretch. Now, the Redmond Road is going to be on the Coventry Woods side of it, because there's like a little footbridge that connects over to a small segment that leads up to Albemarle Road. But those people can still attend, and we want to make sure that they're as aware of it as well as anybody else within the community, because they're apartments, they've got the neighborhood there. So there's lots of opportunity to bring people in. It's just getting people to know what's going on and what we're doing. So the focus really is on connectivity, it's on health, it's on wellness. And Joanne, I'm thinking about that Tai Chi and celebration really of community. So it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to have one of these activities to participate, because celebrating community, I think, involves all of us and what we do. So we can actually do a table to promote your organization and what you do. But what they're asking is that you activate your table. So activation is that you do something fun that people will want to come over to your table. And, thinking of some of the things that you normally see at community events, the sky's the limit, really, when it comes down to it. But the idea that There are micro grants is also helpful. So there are the 500 micro grants from the city. The application needs to go in. It's a simple application this Friday. Whether you use it or not is not critical. I mean, you can apply and not use it, because this is one of these grants that you don't get the money. You submit your receipts and then you get reimbursement, but you have to have the approval for it in order for it to be used. But this, again, what Greg's showing there is really a good piece of information about the map. So where you see the Cedarwood Park up at the top left, it's red. That stretch right there is red, and that's going to be a completely closed street. From there over Amity Place, it's going to be a partial closure. So they have to let people in and out to their houses, but the police will be there. The road would be barricaded, but they would be able to let people in and out. And then this last section on Boston, because Rose Hill and Springfield, those actually connect out to Idlewild, so there's access for those people to be able to get out without coming down Boston. So that's going to be completely closed too. And then that little green segment that goes to Idlewild would be just would be closed, but be allowed to actually access. So we're looking at activating with a couple of food trucks. I don't know exactly what the music and entertainment will be, but we're asking for that type of activities, because we want to make sure that there's a smell of food in the air, there's music in the air, there's something that has to draw people out into the community, and I think it will be time well spent. So anyway, I hope that you'll consider it. I think it's a good way. I did talk to the Girl Scouts today over there, like next door to Idlewild School, and I think that they're will be interested in participating. So it's a way for, they can get out there and they can recruit volunteers, recruit membership, whatever, but they'll look at doing some type of a family activity. So once you actually submit the information, and if you look at that email that we sent out, it does have Aisha Sabor's name on it. I would recommend that you contact her and let her know your interest, and she will have somebody contacting you from Park and Rec. And I think there's also a consultant that's working with the city that would also be asking you questions about what you want to do. So, and to answer your questions. So I think that there's the resources there, but I think the communication has been slow in getting out. So I just really encourage it for us. We don't want to have an event that is lackluster. We really want to make sure that we're able to celebrate our community. So any quick questions here, or I'm glad to talk in detail with anybody after this call.
See, Venitra put in the chat that she submitted her application yesterday.
Wonderful.
Awesome. Yeah.
I have a question, Maureen. If we know of someone who does food truck or food, do we send that information to you when this gets set up? When this would happen? How would that work?
Well, we have given them some information, but you could actually submit that to Aisha if you have a suggestion. And like what we're trying to do is keep this culturally diverse. So we're looking, and I'm not sure I didn't get an answer back, because they want most of this to be along the corridor as far as businesses, but I don't know that we really have people with food trucks that would be able to come, that are directly on that section of Albemarle in Central that is part of that corridor.
Oh, okay.
I would go ahead and submit it to her and just say, hey, there's an idea, and let them take it from there. But we're looking at different groups. I think there's an Indian group that I have submitted anyway so far that has various activities that they can do, whether it's art, music, dance. So let's make it fun.
Okay.
And if it just again, I don't know how that would work, but say for example, you wanted to bring some people over and then just do a Tai Chi demonstration.
Mm-hmm.
That could be just set up to be, a 15-minute, half hour, whatever you wanted it to be. So think creatively.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Righty. Thank you, Maureen. I'm looking forward. Is there tentative change of plans in case there's a emergency weather
We
delay?
haven't talked about that.
Oh. Well, we'll
I'm
just we'll just
sure that, it has to happen because of the way they've got them scheduled, but I can
oh, that
check
is true.
on that and let you know.
I guess it would make sense because they have to reroute and like deal with law enforcement. I can't imagine there really would be a rain day.
And that is a hoop to jump through to get
It is,
CMP,
no doubt.
especially on a Sunday, and I'm sure there's a Panthers game or a soccer game or something going on.
Yeah, no, well, that is a lot. Well, thank you for sharing that. I really do hope. And again, y'all, I don't know. I think Maureen mentioned this. This is not a Charlotte East run event. It is a City of Charlotte event. So this is the city's running this. Alrighty. Let me go ahead and briefly discuss. And Joanne, actually, I can kick it over to you unless you just want me to pull up the flyer about the Tai Chi at Galilee. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, my one brain cell. Sorry, family.
Okay.
This I want to introduce this as the opportunity for Charlotte East. One of our important pillars that we're looking at is wellness for everyone. So just imagine an opportunity to come and do some stretching if you have a break in the middle of the day, which we don't know what those days will be, but we have had an invitation to bring Tai Chi to Galilee that would be open to anyone of any age, and the classes would be free. And the important thing is we're trying to drum up the information. She's known for this. She works for the county, and she is currently doing them at the Eastway Rec Center. Maya Carr, she's been doing this for as long as I've known her, 30 years. She is an elder, so there's representation. So on next Wednesday from 2 to 3 at Galilee, and the second opportunity, if you can't make that one, Friday, the 22nd from 10 to 11. And we're having these interest sessions so we can kind of get a bead on what the community would like. I'm asking everybody to please share it with your circles of influence and everyone else. And like I say, when it's done, it's a program that we're offering for an opportunity for wellness for Charlotte East, without having to be a member or pay a fee or do those things. And I was just kind of imagining when we were talking about this, let's say it works, which I believe it will. Can you imagine a year from now, if we've all had a chance to do some Tai Chi, what our meetings will feel like? Or when you brave warriors, and I'm trying to figure out how to get you there, Greg, in the school
In
day.
my 20-minute lunch break, I'll be there.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
gonna be able to do it for
yeah.
30 seconds, but I'll be
Yeah.
there.
Well, don't lock into these hours as being when we will offer it. That's where we're going to have these meetings. Take a poll. It's probably going to be something that will be both a day and an evening kind of thing, because we want this to be as inclusive as possible. But I was thinking about you all when you go down and you talk in front of the city about Eastland Mall. I just think, God bless you. So think about people that you would like to see there, come yourself and embrace it. And let's try to make this work for our side of town. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I will send this out as a follow-up to our minutes. And I think it's an awesome opportunity. And again, if you've never been able to go over to Galilee, please try to prioritize doing that. And this is a phenomenal opportunity to see it for the first time. There's some incredible things going on over there. Joanne's leadership is phenomenal. Emily's leadership is phenomenal. So they have some really great things happening for our community over there. I have two very quick things that are just really notices on our end. We are doing another 3 times annually. We are required through Keep Charlotte Beautiful to do the Central Avenue cleanup. This year we've been extra busy beautifying the community because we've done 2 with Sustain Charlotte at Campbell Creek. And I believe, Maureen, there's going to be a 3rd one at some point, right? Or no?
Yes, maybe by the end of the year. Maybe it won't be to the first, I'm not sure.
So we will meet. I got a loop with Manolo, but we always meet with folks at 10 a.m. On the Saturday, and then we split up and go. Some go to the Eastland site, some go to the Manolos and meet in the middle. What I want to do is, and I talked to one of the teams today, I want to get both of the teams putting together the final bid for Eastland together to come out on that day. I think there would be some receptiveness so long as the schedule works. I think they'd both be very interested in doing so. I think it would be a good opportunity because they have been both working together pretty diligently. And I guess, as I'm waiting on Deanna, I might as well give an update on what is going on with Eastland because it's been obviously with elections, with what happened with Eastland two weeks ago, things have been busy, but all positive. And I keep saying that, and people are like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's actually things are pretty positive." I mean, the teams both want to work together to make this happen. There's so much money and time involved in how we've gotten to this point. That they now are having multiple meetings a week, both teams. The city is meeting with both of them together once a week. There's like a listed schedule that was put out, actually. Economic development team put it together last week, and they're meeting twice a week until the deadline, which I forget the exact date, but it's mid-October, a little bit after mid-October. But as it stands now, I mean, really, what exists, like, guys, we really won the advocacy. I mean, we truly did. The economic anchor is going to be the sports tenant, or this indoor sports complex. Now, whatever the complementary pieces that other bid gets on the site, I think that's left to be determined. The soccer fields are definitely going to be a component, but as my understanding is right now, the soccer fields are going to be run by the indoor sports complex folks, Edge Sports. So how the ownership structure works, how the land ownership structure works as well, is left to be determined. But I'm pretty positive about where things are going. I think we are going to get a very good scenario, and regardless of how we ended up with this, we're in a good position. So I'm going to keep the optimism going forward with it. But it's thanks to all the advocacy that every single person has put forward and has done. It's made a huge difference. Truly, it's made a huge difference. Now, I know there's this boogeyman, and it could happen with anything. It does not just this project, but with the status or the state of, commercial real estate right now, and something could go left. I'm not gonna speak that into existence. We're just gonna keep on trucking, and we'll provide updates as they come. I'm having a meeting with one of the teams on Friday, to get a really full-blown understanding of where things are. Right now, I'm just getting text every few days or so, and things getting sent back and forth. But I have been asked to look over land design plans before they get finalized, to make sure that everything is really land design and community usage plans, not just land design, but to make sure that everything really fits with what the desire and the ask has been, and there's as much community use as possible. So thank you all for being so active and participating with that, because our advocacy made the difference. I mean, it truly did make the difference. So all right, Ms. Martinez, are you capable of sharing, or do you want me to go to the next agenda item?
I cannot share at the moment, but I am ready to speak if
Yeah, that's fine. I'll pull up the flyer, but you got it. All you.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. So hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Diana Martinez, and I work for the Center for Prevention Services, and I'm in charge of making sure that we have outreach for our Latino community. But this event I wanted to share with everyone. This is a medication take back event. that will be taking place on September 23rd in collaboration with the Latin American Coalition. And that's the same day. This event will be taking place at the Latin American Festival on the 23rd. So for example, let's say you have some medication, that you were prescribed from your doctor that you no longer use, or that you're not really sure how to dispose of it, or it's expired. You can come to this event, and we will be at the front, at the entrance of the festival, collecting this medication in collaboration with the Sheriff's Department as well. And you can drop off your medications here, and we will safely dispose of them, so you don't have to worry about it. So this will be kind of like this is to promote medication disposal safety. And we'll also have our table there called Alianza. Alianza is our Latino outreach department within the Center for Prevention Services. So feel free to come into the festival, free parking, free entry, come enjoy the cultures. All different countries will be there: Mexico, Honduras, El Salvador, and many, many more. So come enjoy some food, some events, some music. You can stop by our table and get some more information in regards to medication safety, as well as alcohol safety, and some information on different substances in our that are present in our community. So just wanted to share with this event, this flyer with everybody. If you have any questions, please reach out. My email is on the flyer. Thank you, Mr. Shido, for sharing the flyer with everyone. But yes, does anybody have any questions or anything in regards to the event? If you would also like some paper flyers, please let me know, and I can, depending on like the location, I can come drop them off for you. That makes it easier. So you can hand out to fellow community members, fellow religious leaders, or anybody that you think might be interested in coming.
Can you give me a little bit of the context of the I don't even know where is Upper Avenue? Or is that the one? Is it in Ballantyne?
Yes, correct. It's in Ballantyne. It's a new location for the festival.
Or AMP? I know.
But
Okay,
yes,
I know where
it
you're
is in
at.
Ballantyne.
Okay. And the festival, because where's the festival usually held?
It was usually held last time I remember it was somewhere in like in East Charlotte. Usually it would be held near East Charlotte. Recently most festivals have been taking place at the pavilion near the NASCAR track. Those were other festivals have taken place this year. But the Latin American Coalition has changed their location to the Ballantyne just to try out for the space, and
Cool.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think one year it was done at Aldersgate, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. But no, this is huge, because even the other day, like, I was going through our medicine cabinet and I was like, what do I do with this stuff? Right?
Exactly.
And this is
Correct.
huge.
So something else that we want to promote at this event is, yes, disposing of your medications, but when you come by our table, we also aim on handing out some medication disposal powder. It's like this special powder that you can take home, and you can put into your pill bottles with some water, and it'll dissolve the pills for you. And that way you can throw it away safely. We try to tell people that it's safer than throwing your entire pill bottle into the trash, or down the water supply. It could contaminate the water supply, the city supply, and in the trash. You never know, what could happen if you throw them away in your trash entirely. So we try to promote the powder that allows you to dissolve those pills, or attending these events, so that the Sheriff's Department and our organization can take care of disposing them for you.
Cool. Thank you, Deanna. Thank you.
No
And thank
problem.
you,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Diego, for sharing the Diego, is there anything you want to add about the festival? If not, I can just leave this up here. It's fine.
Hey everybody, how you doing? You're welcome to come. We are going to have a lot of fun. It is Hispanic Heritage Month. We will have a celebration, and we are going big this time. So I know it is a busy schedule, but it is until really late at night. So you're more than welcome to come.
Awesome. I think I'm really gonna try to make it over there this year, because I haven't seen the AMP at Ballantyne yet.
It's nice. It's
Um,
nice. I went the other day at night. It is beautiful. It looks really nice.
it's nice when you build, you know, like an amphitheater not around housing and around other commercial entities. It seems to work better, Maureen, right? So I'm really am looking forward to it because it does look super nice. Alrighty, y'all, a couple things on the education front that I want to share that might be of interest to folks who can assist. Our education committee at Charlotte East, we've gotten a lot new members recently who've been very gung-ho about strengthening the pipeline between the Plaza Midwood neighborhood and the Garinger feeder pattern to get those our kids back, essentially the kids who haven't been coming to Garinger for some time and who've been going elsewhere and placing out. So these are young families who've really taken the charge and not just promoting the school, but being direct on the ground supports in the classroom, fundraising, all that good stuff. So on September 26th, let me share this other, I'm sorry, I had to change on September 26th, there is a drive-through event at Garinger. We do this annually. I'm sorry, y'all, I'll share it later as well, but this is the flyer. It's not great right now. But the school is looking for donations for hygiene kits, non-perishable food, book bags of school supply items, family resource information. The goal is to give about I think it's 500 bags away this year. So any items are very well received. You know, our school population is last year, the last count, because the numbers haven't come out yet for this year. 93% of our students are considered of low socioeconomic status, and we fluctuate between 50 to 100 McKinney-Vento or homeless students every year. So as much as possible that can be given would be great. You can just drop off at the school or contact the number on the flyer. I know our education committee is helping the school out with volunteers for the day to help with the flow of traffic and distribution of goods. So just wanted to lift that one up. And I guess while I'm on here, this was not part of the agenda, but the bonds, I know this has been, if you've been following our education advocacy, the bonds issue of the $2.5 billion for 30 projects at CMS will be on the ballot in November. The Vote Yes for Bonds Committee, which is being led by the Charlotte Regional Business Alliance, really just started getting going in the past few weeks. I think they had their first meeting yesterday with community members and committee members about really gearing up for the bonds. 3 East Charlotte schools will be impacted in a very huge way, and there's some other changes as well, but Garinger is slated for $56 million in infrastructure improvements, which would bring us more flexibility to do the language programming that we have identified would bring our students back who have left to go to South Mac, who've left to go to Philip O'Berry. So it's going to be huge from the infrastructure and the programmatic standpoint. Cochran Middle School would be demolished and replaced with a new build. Albemarle Road Middle would be demolished and replaced with a new build. Those are the big ones, but Hawthorne also, which is an East Charlotte school, would be demolished with the understanding that a new Hawthorne type facility would be built at the Pearl District, the Innovation District, as part of the hospital in a few years. So please be on the lookout for communication about those bonds. I know early voting, I think, starts in 6 weeks. I know it seems like we just got done yesterday, but here we go. Here we go. The gearing back up for the Board of Education and the in the bonds in the generals, but also on the education topic, y'all. The Board of the Board of Education race. We have 14 candidates for 3 seats. Right? Yeah, 3 seats, because right now it's Lenora, Jennifer, and Elise. So for 3 seats. So over the next few weeks, there's going to be a lot of information coming out about forums, about questionnaires, about flyers for who these candidates are. It is extremely important, as this is a nonpartisan race, for folks to, you know, educate themselves on the candidates and their stance on issues. Because 14's a lot of people. 14's a lot of people. So just a public service announcement there. And that is all that I have. And I see October. Oh, that's early voting. Thank you, Cameron. Thank you. Alrighty, that is it on my end. I'm gonna go ahead and open the floor to anyone who would like to speak, and I see Joanne. And then I'll get you, Cameron. Thank you.
Yeah, this is going to be real quick. Your boots on the ground in the classroom. What is the number one thing that they go through the fastest? You need as a teacher.
Probably honestly, I mean, definitely writing utensils.
Okay.
I mean, writing utensils, pens and pencils, for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Cameron.
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to add more things to September 22nd and 23rd on the busy weekend. We're hosting our annual Liberating Theologies event at the Charlotte Museum of History. Bishop William Barber is going to be our keynote on the 23rd. On Friday evening, we're having a humanist minister, JX Dis Hooper. They do a lot of work around HIV advocacy. And so Friday evening will be performance and speaking. We have like 50 scholarship tickets left, so I'm going to drop that. That includes breakfast and lunch on Saturday, heavy hors d'oeuvres on Friday evening, again at the Charlotte Museum of History. Just going to drop that in the chat, man. Thanks.
Thank you. I think we might just have to make like a big run of show like September 22nd, 23rd, like one big post. I think I actually might end up doing that because there's so much awesome stuff going on. Awesome. Liberating Theology, so cool. I did not know about this. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, we have Latinay Dr. Roberto Espinoza, who's written his own activist theology. And so he's going to come and present on that too and do like his first unveiling of his work. So we're just really excited.
That is really cool. That is really cool. Then you have, alrighty. And again, on the topic of the Museum of History, y'all, they have a couple things coming up as well. Their Mad About Modern tour is at the end of this month. So where they do, it's one of their big events where they take folks throughout the city to look at modern architecture in homes. I know this year they're incorporating a car show as part of one, or a car display as part of one. And they're also coming to Garinger for the first time to look at the architecture. Because if you all did not know, Garinger is a historically designated landmark because of the architecture. So thank you for sharing. I will get that out when I send the notes.
So, Greg, how about if you mention about the histories, the oral histories?
Yes.
So I don't know if any of you have heard this or not, and this is applicable to you or to anybody that you know that maybe would like to go or make an appointment with Nolan Dom over at the History Museum. He's the exhibit and programs manager, and he is doing oral history. So you don't have to be a native Charlottean. You don't have to be old to go over there and give an oral history. But if there's something about the East community that really ought to be archived, because what he'll do is he'll do the oral history, give you a copy of the archive for yourself, and then it will be archived within the History Museum. So we've done one with some people that lived over in the Eastland area, and it turned out to be really interesting. Just an hour, a conversation of some of the history there. So I encourage anybody to go. They didn't have a very good response when they first put it out, and so I'm trying to go around and needle people, and a lot of people are very interested and are making those appointments now. So we're kind of late on the coming through, but I think it doesn't matter. He will continue to collect these things, and hopefully there'll be an exhibit eventually one day of some of this cool information.
So Nolan's doing appointments now, you said?
Yes.
That's how they're structuring it? Okay.
Yeah, so we can put on Nolan's contact information, and he's been very, very receptive to this and very interested. For example, those of you probably have heard maybe that there was a Willora Lake, as you know, the Willora Lake neighborhood. We came up with this postcard back in 2017 when we first started having the conversations again about what we were going to do with Eastland. And Nolan actually, after the discussion of some of the other things in that area, he went to old archives of the Observer and he pulled out some other information, like little classified ad size things that came out in the paper about activities, and even kind of a scandalous thing about, the guy that was running the place, the water was not good there, it was hazardous. And so it brought to life that area, and the names of the streets, and who was involved. Like, Jenkins is one of the streets over there, and the Jenkins lived on the corner. These are things we don't typically see in Charlotte, so it's fun because I know myself, when I drive down Albemarle Road now, I look at it in a much more interesting way. Before it was just kind of like blah, boring. Now it's come to life. Also Redmond Road, then there used to be a golf course over in that area beyond the Redmond Road, like where Coventry Woods is. And so this are kind of things, if you know anybody that has any information to share about our Charlotte East history, anywhere in that East area, I encourage you to make an appointment.
Cool. Thank you so much, Maureen. Alrighty, y'all. With that said, if there's anybody else who has anything, okay, we will get out of here at 7 minutes early. Thank you all for being here, for participating, for sharing, and look forward to future meetings.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.